morning, everyone. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I want to welcome everybody, including those of you who are online. You're part of our community. Consciousness is everywhere, right? So our consciousness is one of inclusiveness, and that means everybody on the planet. This morning I woke up and I was remembering a song we used to sing in Calgary at the end of our service every Sunday. It was written by a friend of mine named Terry Bradford, who used to be Celine Dion's duet singer. So I wanted to share just a few of the words because it's pertinent to today and also to what I'm going to speak about. It starts off, we'd like to change a world that's getting out of hand. A change of this magnitude seems impossible to do. But together, we all make the change. Though near or far, together, we make the change. We vow to live in love together. We all make the change. It's a beautiful tune, and it's absolutely true that anything that happens in the world comes from human consciousness. So we do our part to make things better. Individually, one-on-one, in our communities, our families, our homes. Because, and this is what I'm going to talk about today, everything that has been in our experience, whether it's collective or individual, is only true up until now. The question is, what will it be from now on? So today I thought I'd have a little fun with you and do a little bit more of a workshop talk. Now, I'm not going to make you stand up or say anything. It'll be all done within your mind. You willing to play a little bit? Sure. Good, thank you for nodding. Say this out loud. Well, let me say it first and then you see if you want to participate. I willingly release from my reality all ideas, persons, places, things, or memories that up until now have not served my highest good. Does that sound like something you might want to say out loud? All right. I willingly release from my reality all ideas, persons, places, things, or memories that up until now have not served my highest good. See, we start there, and that's how we get to from now on. Here's another one. This one is one of the most powerful affirmations I've ever come across. I'm willing to be seen and known for who I really am. Want to say that? I'm willing to be seen and known for who I really am. And I can guarantee you none of us ever has. Because there's so much more to us. No matter what high level we've been living on or how much we've been expressing, there's more. There's more authentic self to reveal to the world through our work, through everything we do. Okay, so here's your part. Pick in your mind, choose an area of your life that you want to see transformed. That maybe we call it a healing, or maybe we call it expansion, evolution, increase, or disappearance. Think of an area in your life. Now that could be health, wealth, relationships, creativity, peace, anything. Just give yourself a sense of that coming up for you. What's going on in your life up until now that you'd like to see changed? Now we begin the process of conscious change. Take your chosen subject and ask yourself, how has it been up until now? This is the part where there's no judgment. You know, human beings are really good at beating themselves up, and we want to be good to ourselves. We want to be loving to ourselves. And so there's no judgment here. Up until now, and this is things you can think about. If it doesn't apply, there will be something that does. Up until now, my health has been fill in the blank. You know, people say, well, I get sick, I get well, I get sick, I get well, or I've had this chronic thing, and we attribute it to all kinds of things, old age, whatever. Let's be honest, up until now, my health has been. Up until now, my financial life has been, or my wealth has been. Struggle, win some, lose some, a belief in lack. Up until now, my wealth has been. Again, no judgment. Oh, here's one everyone can relate to. Up until now, my relationships have been. I could write a book on that one. I don't know about you. Relationships are what life's all about. There's nothing but relationships. And it's our relationship first to spirit. That's the most important relationship, which colors all the other ones. But our relationship to ourselves, how we define ourselves. Our relationship to the environment, to nature, to each other. Up until now, my relationships have been. Let yourself play with that a little bit. No judgment. Up until now, my creative self-expression has been, most of us have hidden talents no one's ever seen. And it's like, oh, well, when I was young, I was going to do that, but whenever someone comments to me that I'm artistic, then they'll say, what have you done lately? I'll say, yeah, I moved the furniture. I haven't painted in years, and that's pretty good. I was a pretty good artist. Got sidetracked, did other things, but it's still in my heart to express myself artistically. Yes, you have something like that in your life? And that translates into work, usually. Not always. It doesn't have to, but it tends to. When we unlock that creative spirit, whatever job we're doing seems to get better. We seem to get promoted. We seem to get raises because we're putting something into it that's authentic and real and necessary and probably needed in the environment. All right? Up until now, my work life has been. I figured out one time, I think I've had 30 different jobs before I became a minister. So, and that's kind of typical in our world today. People move around, they change a lot of their jobs. But what has the experience been like? What has my working life felt like? Was it fun? Joyful? Hard? The old American thing, you gotta work hard. It's just not true. We should be taught, work easy. Be relaxed at work. Express yourself. Share yourself. Have fun. Regardless of what the other people are doing. Have you ever noticed when you're in a group of people, and I've noticed this in where I used to work. Before I was a minister, I worked at the San Diego Flower and Plant Auction. And all the florists would come every day and buy flowers. And so I met all kinds of people. And I was the one who handled all the money, which was really fun for me. Because at that time, I didn't have any. And there's thousands of dollars come in. It was a great experience. But when I left to take my first church, because I was in ministerial training then, I got a letter from one of the people who worked there. And she was a very strong fundamental Christian. But she wrote me a letter to say, we really miss you because you always had something positive to say. And so you don't know how you affect people by being authentically who you are. I'm not saying anything about myself. I'm just that. I've always been an optimist, and it's just who I am. But we can cultivate those parts of ourselves that the world needs. Boy, do they need it now. They need us now. Okay, so be nice to yourself. It's just what it was up until now. The next question is, this is the more fun question. What would I like from now on? Do we realize now we've been in this teaching a long time, but sometimes we forget the basics. You have a right to choose what you experience. You have a right to say what you want in your life. You have a right to say what is true for you. You have a right to use the tools of spiritual mind treatment to allow it to come through you, and it will. When I was young, I had this phrase, I was always saying, life is magic, because things just kept coming out of the blue for me when I got into this teaching. And I realized it's not magic, it's science, and you work it. But most of us get easily seduced by the outer world, and it's very easy to do, especially with all the information that's coming at us these days. And we forget the basic principle. Mind is cause, mind is cure. Consciousness precedes all form and all experience. No exceptions. Everything we see in the world right now are nothing but the ashes of old ideas. The fire is inside. The passion is inside. The world changes as the consciousness of the people change. It's always been that way. All right? So that's true for us. So here's a big point. There is a space between up until now and from now on. That space is huge. That space is the field of consciousness. We call it the quantum field of all potential. That's what's between our thoughts. If we slow down our mind enough through meditation, we would feel that. That's the purpose of meditation, is to stop thinking, so that we can feel this field, the quantum field of all potential. And in there is the content of our mind. In there is what we have cultivated and we've planted in that field. So that space will create our from now on, what we put in it. Now, I want to say to those of us who have been around on the planet a while, it's easy to think it's too late, we're too old, or too this or too that, at any age. I want you to know it's never too late. I want you to know there's only one time frame in this universe, and that's now. And what we put in that space now, with any conviction, any energy, any trust in the process, has to happen. And that's where it feels like magic, because when it happens, you go, whoa, I didn't expect that. You know, I thought it might change a little, but this is like a brand new thing. I've had it happen to me so many times. That's why I still want to be teaching this, because I can prove it. I have lived so many moments where I went, thank you, whatever you are, because this is perfect. And it was something I didn't think up. So the content of our mind isn't specific, well, it's specific, but it's not saying how it has to happen. Let's say the content of your mind is, I am brand new, I feel like a young person, my health is great, I am flexible, I can move, I am strong, and I allow this wholeness matrix to reassert itself in my body right now. See, we're not saying how that has to happen. Larry Dossey, who was a great guy, he's an internist in Dallas. He's written many books. I may have mentioned him before. But he said there are so many spiritual healings happening that medical doctors have stopped trying to say they don't happen. And that he wrote this book based on his observations as a physician of how many times miracles happen. We call them miracles because the medical community can't explain them. Where people just suddenly get better. The tumor disappears. The disease is gone. They're up and out and on the run again. He says it happens so often, it's not a miracle. But nobody wants to admit it. They don't have an explanation for it. So again, that's the teaching. Say the what, not the how. Leave that up to the divine mind. Leave that up to spirit, this universal intelligence that brings things together that belong together. That's Ernest Holmes' definition of love. All right? So if we affirm, we did in the beginning, that we release everything that's not for our highest good, that would create quite a big space, wouldn't it? Talk about a mental garage sale. You know, it's like, in Hawaii they say, take out the rubbish. We're taking out the rubbish. A big space would be created. So what shall we fill it with? What would you like instead? It's a legitimate question. You know, the universe is always asking us that. What would you like instead, Miss? Always. It's every minute. Spirit is saying, I'm here to give you the content of your heart, the content of your mind. What would you like instead of how it's been up until now? We must say it out loud. We must talk to the universe because it's always listening. You know, the one thing that I learned early on in this teaching that blew my mind, because I didn't grow up being taught this, was this simple truth. The universe is responsive to all sentient life. Because it has created all sentient life. We are of it. We're not in the universe. We're a part of what it is. It's responsive. It always responds. And it always says yes. It never says no. God does not teach lessons. God does not punish. We just experience the consequences of our consciousness, our choices, our decisions. It's not coming from the outside. It's all generated from within. So, once we acknowledge, without judgment, how it has really been up until now, we are in a very potent place in mind, a very powerful place in mind. In other words, we've just let it go and put ourselves in the present moment. We are in creative mode. We are in the co-creative mode with this responsive universe. All right, so the practice is to now drop into that space within your own mind and feel the openness, feel the clean slate. You know, we never start from scratch, we start from source. We start from God, always. We don't start from scratching around in our past and trying to put the puzzles back together. No, we start from source, as if nothing has happened up until now. Imagine what that would feel like. You can do that. You can generate that feeling in your mind, but you've got to be willing to sit still and go within. You've got to be willing to go there. You know, when I first came into this teaching, meditation wasn't a big part of it. And I even heard one old-time minister say, I don't believe in meditation. And I said, well, what do you mean when you say go within? I think they meant go this far. And, you know, superficial. We're talking about dropping into it. You can do this. This is not hard. It's natural. Human beings are wired for this. We are wired to be one with spirit in silence. So give it a try. Give yourself a space to simply be and not do, like we did in the meditation this morning. So we allow our mind the fun, and it should be fun, of imagining what we want from now on. So remember, we're starting from source, we're starting from the wholeness matrix, we're starting from infinite possibility, we're starting from now where there is no past, there is no future. There's just what we're doing now. The universe responds to it with a big fat yes, right? So, for example, if prosperity is our issue, we might feel, this is the fun part, you might feel the joy of writing big checks to support a cause that we love. Maybe it's feeding the children of the world. That's one of my favorites. But there's all kinds of things, music, art. You want to support something. Maybe you're giving your families money or your grandkids for their education, or to start a business. Imagine yourself doing that. If prosperity is your issue, if you need an expansion of financial freedom in your life, then maybe you imagine yourself taking a cruise to the South Pacific and learning the Tahitian hula. That'll shake you up. Or maybe a river cruise in Europe. Maybe we would pay off old debts and feel the freedom of that. So feel the freedom. When you're in that open space, it's all yours. Nobody else can get in there. Nobody else can say anything about what's going on in you. That's your sacred space. And enjoy it, have fun with it. And go a little deeper and feel the givingness of this universe, how it has always supported us, always supported us. It's our natural birthright. Ernest Holmes said, and I've said this before here, but it's one of my favorite things. He said, the universe is lavish and relentless in its givingness. In other words, the universe only does one thing. It pours itself into form and experience. It becomes, it evolves constantly, constantly, constantly. And how does it do it? Through the avenue of consciousness. And this is what drives the species of humanity forward. If it wasn't coming through each one of us individually, we would all have the same experience all the time. We do not. We have the experience of our own inner life and some shared experiences, but it's perception. You know, you ever go to a movie with somebody and you come out and you say, God, that was the greatest movie. And they go, I thought it was terrible. But I say, but the acting was so good. Oh, no. I mean, they saw a different thing than I did to sit next to you, right? And all life is like that. We agree on some things, but for the most part, We have a very unique perception that's all our own. Maybe health was our issue. In that space between up until now and from now on, we can allow ourselves to feel the joy of our own body, our own physicality. We can feel strength, the freedom of movement. We might see ourselves taking a tap dance class, or skydiving, or riding a bike, or doing Tai Chi, or doing a waltz with our loved one. You know, something that means something to us, that has the element of health within it. In other words, we are capable. One of my favorite sayings is, my body does what I ask it to do when I ask it to do it. So I'm not going to be stuck on the floor. I'm going to get up on my own steam. As old as I am, I can still open jars because I insist on it. I do. I say, I can do this. I don't give up. I have a friend that gives up so easily on his everything, and I'll say to him, you're giving up again. You gotta insist on who you are. Because the world will tell you, you're an old lady. You can't do that. No. I may look old, but I'm not old. And I never will be. And neither will you, right? It's not. Old is a state of mind. So is youth. So let's go within. If health is our, up until now, let's just go within and feel our own. You can remember when you were young, chronologically. Feel that energy, the joy of being alive. That's what promotes health too, a lot of it. It's the joy of being alive and trusting the infinite power that has created us in its own image and likeness, which means perfection, which means wholeness. And you know, as Larry Dossey, the doctor I was telling you about, says, when there is a miracle healing, it isn't that something has been fixed. It's that spirit has restored the wholeness matrix right where we are. In other words, it's created us all over again from its wholeness. That's how these things happen. It can happen to anybody. Okay, so vitality is our spiritual birthright. Vitality is the quality of spirit that translates into health. We're born whole, and even when we were sick, we were whole. That's why when you're sick, you can imagine being well. When you're completely broke, you can imagine being wealthy. Why? When your heart is broken, you can imagine having a new romance. Why? Because you aren't broken. You aren't bereft. You're just experiencing something that's personal to you. But you have never been damaged or diminished by any worldly experience, not who you really are. So a lot of this is really about self-identity. So maybe your up until now has been challenging relationships. That seems to be common, because human beings can be difficult to get along with, right? And I include myself in that, right? Okay, so sometimes though, seriously, they never seem to work out for people. It's like, never seems to happen for me, people say. I've heard people say that so many times. Or maybe one in particular you really wanted to work out and it didn't. You know, when I got divorced, I wasn't angry, I was disappointed. I thought I was going to spend my life with this person, growing old and having our grandkids come for Christmas. Nope, that wasn't in the cards. And I realize now it was perfect that it wasn't, because I wouldn't be doing this work that's taken me all over the world and had wonderful experiences and then seeing people's lives get better because of the teaching. So up until now was just that. From now on is where the goodies happen. So relationships, remember that you can imagine yourself in love. And it starts with being in love with yourself and being in love with life. And know this, nothing has to happen first for us to be happy. It's a decision. Happiness is lurking around in there. Joy is always present. It's trying to come through. When my daughter was little and I'd scold her for something and I'd go tickle her or push her, she'd say, I'm not ready to be happy. I said, okay, well, let me know when you're ready. But that's the truth. It's a choice. And there's that other voice, the one that knows I'm not ready to be happy. I can make that choice. See, we have this wonderful faculty for higher awareness, even in the midst of challenge and limitation. All right, so see yourself in love, see yourself lit up with playful joy, meeting new people with ease, enjoying an active social life. You affirm that all your relationships are harmonious and loving. I got that from Reverend Jane Claypool, who was the founding minister of this center. She used to say, all my relationships are harmonious and loving. Whether it's the clerk in the store or the guy in the traffic jam or the bus driver or my grandkids or my kids or whatever, all my relationships are harmonious and loving. Wouldn't that be wonderful? We can do that from now on. But we've got to realize it begins with us. And the other thing about relationships is if you're seeking a partner, and maybe you're not, but you probably know someone who is, that person is seeking you. They're there, you're here, and they're trying to get together. What draws people together is consciousness. So, Emerson and my grandmother used to say, whatever you want, be it first, and it'll find you. That's so true. So be loving, be lit up, be joyful, be the partner you're looking for, and you'll find one that mirrors you. Works, that's how it works. Okay, so what if your up until now was fear for the world? Well, a lot of people are in the gloom and doom these days. 1, will you go into the space where there is no fear, no projections, just potential? Will you tell your mind there is a higher intelligence always at work, always available to everyone? Will you allow your mind to feel the winds of change, which are swirling around us right now, and know they are divinely directed through humanity? Imagine feeling cheerfully expectant and peacefully present. Peace is our spiritual birthright. What's going on in the world are nothing but old ideas that have become manifest. They cannot stay put if there are better ideas amongst us. No gloom and doom. No doomsday projections. All is well, all the time, spirit is on the job. This is a picture of old ideas that are no longer viable for the human race, and they aren't, are they? Racism, sexism, homophobia, they're not viable, right? Can't live like that. Change is happening. The winds of change are swirling. So maybe your up until now has to do with holding resentments against people who have hurt you. Drop into that space, sit in the silence, and say that wonderful affirmation again. I willingly release all persons, places, things, ideas, and memories that have not served my highest good. I let them go. And sit in that silence and feel the openness of it, the clean slate, the untarnished you. Feel the truth of your own intact soul, your wholeness. That's really the purpose of meditation, is that puts us back into the awareness of our intact soul. Bodies go away, the soul remains. It just keeps moving into new forms all the time. So we love our bodies and we're happy to have them while we're here, they need to work, right? But the day will come when we're going to set them free. Until that time, though, we don't want them to break down. We want them to be whole and complete like our spirit is. So let's affirm that that is true. Wholeness is our spiritual birthright. Up until now is merely an observation, a loving observation. And from now on, it's completely up to us. So I hope you'll take these ideas with you today. Work with them throughout the weeks and days coming. Do you remember those affirmations? Let's say that final one again. I am seen and known. Come on, get some energy going. For who I really am. No more hiding. No more pretending. I am seen and known for who I really am. Okay, who are we? I am powerful. I am beautiful. I am intelligent. I am wealthy. I am healthy. I am whole and complete. I have gifts to give this world. I am led, guided, and directed into exactly the right place at the right time to give those gifts. And so it is. Okay, great. Let's do the music first before Conscious Giving. We want to welcome Andrea and Billy back. No, we skipped it. We're gonna do your solo.
Which one?
Whatever you want to sing. I just went right, I blew right past the opening. That's all right. Up until now, I wouldn't have done that.
Maybe turn it off. Turn it off while you're singing it.
I'm just playing with it.
Alright. Yeah, can you hear me now? Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. Oh my goodness. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. This is called Cosmic Peace. Yeah. Everybody. Join your hands. Everybody. Lift your voice. Let's pray. Peace in our world. No more war in this place. We can start in our own mind. We can start right here. We are called for freedom. We are called for peace. Yeah. Everybody. Shine your light. I see it. Everybody. Make that choice. Cosmic peace in our life. Cosmic love in our hearts. We are multi-dimension. We're astronaut. Hey, we're called for freedom. We're called for flight. Oh, Shanti. Oh, Shanti. Oh, Shanti. Oh, Shanti. Shanti. Oh. Hey. See, oh, Shanti means peace. And I'm calling on peace for everyone, everywhere, all over the world. Yeah. Shanti, 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 Shanti. Oh, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Oh. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Oh, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Oh. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Oh, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Oh. Shanti. Oh. Shanti. Oh. Oh, Shanti. Oh, Shanti. Shanti. Oh.
my goodness, Reverend Kate is watching from home. She's probably gonna kill me. I launched right into my talk and forgot the whole first part of the service, but that's okay. Maybe we didn't need it. There is a group reading though that I think we should say, even though as we go into conscious giving, we have two of them, but I think we should say the group reading that's on the top of your program. The one that begins with "There is one life." Okay, let's say that out loud. There is one life, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect love and perfect intelligence. I am an individualized expression of all that it is. I am ever one with this perfect love and perfect intelligence. And now we're going to participate in our own prosperity by circulating a portion of our good through this center so that it can continue its work. And we say that one together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I am, and all that I give. I know this is so, and so it is. And let's sing, I am so blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Okay, stay put in here, because I cheated them out of their song, so I'm gonna hear your second song,
Oh,
whatever it was.
oh gosh, okay.
You forgot already? You gotta earn your money. You gotta give your gifts.
And I didn't have any milk and still. Yeah, because I like this song. It's by India. Yeah. I am light. 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 I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. 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 I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. 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 I am not the color of my eyes. I am not my skin on the inside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. Ooh. I am light. I am light. I am light, I am light. Yeah, I am divinity divine. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light.
didn't get to hear that. That was beautiful. Glad we didn't miss that one. Oh, all right. So we have a few announcements. Hey, it's potluck Sunday today. There's food. So everybody stay and have a little fun together. We've postponed the prosperity workshops because Kate and I wanted to do them together, and she's been laid up. So she'll be back soon, and we'll pick those up at a later date. Now, I'm going to be teaching an accredited Science of Mind class called The Art and Science of Spiritual Mind Treatment, which I've mentioned many times is one of the greatest things I ever learned. So the information is on the table right by the front door. There's a registration form. Kate and I realized we need at least 6 people to make this go. So if you're interested, let us know right away and sign up for it because it's supposed to start on October 13th. Jessica has very generously allowed us to use the recreation hall of her mobile home park. So that's a real gift. And we want this to happen. So let us know. Next week, Reverend Dr. Maddie Dobbs will be speaking here. Y'all love Maddie. I will be in Toronto visiting my son. Yay! Haven't seen him for a year and a half. That's too long. Can't do it. I cannot do it. So today and every Sunday, you can request spiritual mind treatment by placing a written request. All that is on that table by the door. There's little forms to fill out. It's confidential. Nobody else will know about it. And you can speak to me after our closing song if you want a little more privacy. So I'd like to recognize all the volunteers today. You know, when Reverend Kate isn't here and Daryl and Johnny are out of town, we've got some wonderful volunteers. Jessica, who was with me this morning, she was putting everything together for us. Thank you, Jessica. And Ruth Ann brings flowers. Aren't these gorgeous? And Jim, of course, is operating the camera for the online. And Odie, I always want to call you Odie. It's Odie. She's going to be doing our candle lighting today. In fact, why don't you just come on up? And guess whose birthday it is today? It would be her. And she's dressed appropriately, like a candle, like a cake. Okay, candle lighting. I'm going to follow Kate's script today to make her happy. We begin by lighting a candle for life. Life is everywhere present, flowing through each and every one of us. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is our life. Please affirm out loud, I am life. I am life. We light a candle for love. The birth of love happens within each one of us every time we make room for the Christ consciousness in our hearts and recognize our unity. Let's say it, I am love. And of course, we light a candle for light, which is what we really are. The light of God is the presence and the power. We are always walking in the light. We radiate the light of God wherever we are. Please affirm with me, I am light. We light a candle for beauty. We are made in the image and likeness of Spirit. We are each whole, complete, and beautiful just as we are. We accept the beauty of God's perfection as our perfection now. Say with me, I am beauty. And we light a candle for joy. Joy is the very nature of Spirit and the true essence of each one of us. We celebrate the joy in our own rebirth in the God consciousness. We are a center of joy. We bring it into the world. So let's say it out loud. I am joy. We light a candle for peace. Today and every day, we open our hearts to peace. We are each a center of peace in our world. Please affirm, I am peace. And finally, please take a moment to recognize your own inner light. That's who we really are, is the light of Spirit shining through our eyes and every action. So we honor our own metaphysical path of wholeness, oneness, and mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles that are ours to rely upon always. So say, I have an inner light.
I have an inner light.
I let the world see it.
I let the world.
I am light.
I am light.
All right, thank you, and happy birthday. I'm going to close with a spiritual mind treatment for all of us and for the world. You can strum a little bit. We bring ourselves together in the recognition that we live in a magnificent universe, a universe of love and intelligence that's everywhere present, all the time, all of it, all at once, and it never withholds anything. It is forever becoming, pouring itself in and out of experience just for the joy of it, just because its nature is to do so. It cannot stop but create again and again and again, never going backwards, always moving forward, taking us at our word. This universe and everything in it is the visible evidence of an incredible life force at work. There's only one power, not two, no conflict. This power lives within us. It is the divine spark within us. It is our intuition. It is our knowing. It is how we radiate the light that we are, that we know spirit. And so I know for each and every person here today and all of you online and the whole world that we are awake and alert to our pureness, our wholeness, our infinite potential. That up until now, whatever it was is over. We are done with it, and we go into the from now on with open eyes and open hearts and cheerful minds, with the joy of imagining a world that is a place for all people to prosper, to live in health and wholeness, to love one another in all our diversity, and to create from within the joy of being together. We affirm this, we know it is true, and we let it be. And so it is.
So it is.
All right, let's do our closing song. I did remember that. And it's on the back of your program. I love this little song. That's really cool.
Open your heart, let your love go free, out over the ocean, right across the street. Let it flow like a river, let it fly like a dove. Let your heart remembers, you can't stop love. Once you get it started, watch what it does. You go full circle, can't stop love.
Beautiful. Let's give a hand. All right, so enjoy that potluck.